Now, you might be wondering, why are we doing this? Well, take this direct quote right from our source material on site safety. Proper communications, toolbox talk. Clear communication is literally the foundation of job site survival. When you're working around high-pressure pipes, live electricity, and incredibly heavy machinery, knowing the exact English word for a hazard or a safety procedure isn't just a helpful bonus. It could literally save your life or the life of your coworker.
Here's a quick look at our syllabus for today. First, we'll look at the project phases. Second, preparing the system. Third, identifying job site hazards. And finally, crucial safety measures.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, the project phases.
Let's kick things off with our first two critical words. They represent the massive life cycle timeline of a project. They're a bit long, so repeat after me. Word number 1, pre-commissioning. Pre-commissioning. Great. Now word number 2, commissioning. Commissioning. Excellent. Now let's break down exactly what they mean.
So, let's look at our first word, pre-commissioning. Think of that prefix pre, which simply means before. This is the preparation phase. Our sources define this as the verification activities executed prior to the actual testing. Basically, it's when we get the subsystem absolutely ready and safe. We're boxing things up, doing those initial checks, and just making sure every single component is exactly where it should be.
And that leads us to our second word, commissioning. This is the big one, guys. Commissioning is the actual testing phase. Once all that preparation is done, we do the function testing to bring the entire system into a ready state. This is the exciting part. When fluids are introduced, pumps are actually turned on, and we verify that the plant works properly and safely exactly according to its design.
Let's move along to Section 2, preparing the system.
Word number 3, listen and repeat. Cleaning. Cleaning. Now, this might sound like a super basic household word, right? But on a job site, it's a highly specific technical step. It means removing all the dirt, debris, and foreign material from inside those massive pipes, usually right after a pressure test. Because if we don't do this, that debris can totally destroy incredibly expensive equipment further downstream.
Now, we actually have two specific methods of cleaning. Words 4 and 5. Say them with me. Flushing, flushing, and now blowing, blowing. Here's how you tell them apart. Flushing is when we use a liquid to clear the pipes, like water flushing or lube oil flushing. Blowing, on the other hand, is when we use gas, like air blowing or highly pressurized steam blowing. So, liquid flushes and gas blows.
Word number 6. Let's practice the pronunciation together. Mechanical. Mechanical. In our sources, this word pops up constantly. For example, you'll hear about mechanical cleaning, which means using physical hand tools or power tools rather than water or chemicals. You'll also hear about mechanical isolation, which means physically turning a valve and locking it in place. So mechanical always means using physical force or physical tools.
Word number 7. This is a really great one. Listen and repeat. Catalyst. Catalyst. A catalyst is a highly specific chemical material. During that pre-commissioning phase we talked about earlier, workers do what's called catalyst loading. Basically, they fill static equipment, like these huge reactor vessels, with these specific chemicals. The catalyst's job is to trigger chemical reactions, usually to purify hydrocarbons.
All right, pivoting now to Section 3, identifying job site hazards. Now, knowing how the equipment works is great, but knowing how to stay alive around it, that is absolutely non-negotiable. Look at the physical reality of a site undergoing commissioning. You've got barricades, warning tape, and signs everywhere screaming caution and do not enter. The environment changes so rapidly, so we really need to learn the vocabulary of danger.
Which brings us to word number 8. Let's practice. Hazards. Hazards. This is your umbrella term for literally everything dangerous. A hazard is a risk that can cause injury to you or damage to the job site. Whenever you look around a site, you should constantly be asking yourself, okay, what are the hazards here?
Let's run through 4 specific types of hazards. I'll say them, you repeat them. Word 9, chemical.
Chemical.
This involves burns or environmental damage from hazardous substances. Word 10, and this is a tricky one, asphyxiation. Asphyxiation. This means lacking oxygen, which is a very real risk when you're dealing with certain gases. Word 11, discharge.
Discharge.
This refers to the sudden, unexpected release of fluids or water from a pipe. And word 12, slipping.
Slipping.
This happens when lube oil or water makes the ground super dangerous to walk on.
To put our next hazard into perspective, just picture a massive industrial motor connected to a pump. Imagine the heavy metal parts in the middle spinning at thousands of revolutions per minute.
That builds the perfect context for word 13. Listen and repeat. Rotating. Rotating. Our sources specifically warn us about rotating machine parts. These are gears, shafts, or blades that spin. The major hazard here is getting your clothing, your tools, or worst of all, your hands caught in those moving parts. You absolutely must protect yourself from rotating equipment. Moving on to word 14. Say it with me. Confined space. Confined space. This is a small, enclosed area. Think of the inside of a large tank or a dark underground vault. They have heavily restricted entry points. The hidden dangers inside are massive. You're dealing with poor lighting, electrical risks, and highly dangerous asphyxiation risks because toxic gases can so easily get trapped inside.
Finally, let's head into Section 4, Crucial Safety Measures.
So, the crucial point is, how do we actively protect ourselves? We've identified the hazards, now we need the vocabulary for our protective shields. Here are 4 protective words. Repeat them after me. Word 15, ventilation. Ventilation. This means providing fresh air, which is absolutely critical to prevent asphyxiation in those confined spaces. Word 16, insulated. Insulated. This means covering extremely hot pipes to prevent severe burns. Word 17, isolation. Isolation. This means totally locking away the energy, shutting the system down completely so it cannot turn on. Word 18, competent. Competent. Our sources explicitly demand competent contractors. This simply means properly trained, skilled, and fully qualified to do the job safely.
Word 19 is actually an acronym. Listen and repeat. PPE. PPE. This stands for Personal Protective Equipment. Think of this as your physical armor. It includes your hard hat, your safety glasses, gloves, and protective clothing. The source documents also group things like safety showers and eye wash stations under this broader umbrella of protective site equipment you absolutely need when handling chemicals. And our final word, number 20. Say it with me, LOTO. LOTO. This stands for lockout/tagout, and this brilliantly illustrates how strict procedures are what keep everyone alive. When you use mechanical isolation, you don't just turn off a switch. You physically lock it with a heavy padlock, and you put a tag on it with your name, so literally nobody else can turn that machine on while you are working on it.
Incredible job, everyone. We have officially covered all 20 crucial safety words. From understanding the core difference between pre-commissioning and commissioning, all the way to knowing your PPE and LOTO procedures. Mastering these specific English terms doesn't just help you read manuals. It literally makes you a highly competent, communicative, and immensely safer worker on any international job site. You should be really proud of the progress you've made in just these last few minutes.